I have one section of a stream that I've been metal detecting for 6 years, where I have found 68 silver coins. This is the very place where I had found the World War II bracelet that was featured in my last video. Having 68 coins is the kind of thing that just eats away at me. For some reason I need to get to 70. Join me as I show you how I got to this point, and as I go back out in the streams to see if I can find 2 more. These are my stories from the signal. It all started in the summer of 2015. I had purchased my Garrett AT Gold that I still use to this day. It was the first detector I had owned that allowed me to hunt in the water. From the moment I started stream hunting, I was hooked. For one thing, I had forgotten how much fun it was to be in the streams. I used to do this as a kid with my brother and friends. But going into streams opened a whole new world of finds. I had several locations in mind when I first started detecting in the water. One in particular seemed promising, as I had researched an old advertised natural swimming hole. I had even found pictures of large groups of swimmers in the stream, but wasn't sure on the exact location. I kept working different sections of where I believed it could be, but I was also learning how to use a detector in the stream. I was figuring out the right techniques and the best supporting equipment to use. It wasn't until the very end of the water detecting season in the fall that I found this. A 1902 Barber half dollar, named after the designer. This was my first half dollar ever found, and my first Barber coin ever found. Finding this on my last stream hunt meant I would have to dream all winter long about what else I could find. 2016 came along and I found my way back into the stream, and the hits started coming, one after another. The crazy thing about this place is when I get a penny hit, 95% of the time it has been a wheat penny. When I get a solid dime, quarter, or larger hit, 95% of the time it has been silver. The coins come out in various conditions. Sometimes I simply clean them off with water. In some cases I've used baking soda, aluminum foil, and boiling water to clean them. Now you may wonder why it took so long to find these coins. For one thing, the section of stream that I have found them in covers, I would guess, the size of 1.5 to 2 football fields. If I were on land and finding this many good finds, I would start gridding, systematically going back and forth to cover as much area without missing anything. Or when I find something good in the middle of a field, I'll start to spiral outward from the point to see if other things are in the same location. You can grid in a stream, but it is much more difficult. On land, you can see your recent impressions in the grass, making it easy to stay in straight lines. In a stream, you need to key off of items on either shore, but keeping in a straight line in this stream is impossible. I have to contend with plants that I can't get through with a detector. There are boulders and fallen trees and limbs that get in my way, and the current sometimes pushes me. Besides the lack of being able to grid, there are sinkers everywhere that I've worked very diligently to remove to not only do good for the environment, but to enable me to hear the coins. I'm guessing I pulled 40 to 50 pounds of sinkers out of the water. And here I'm shocked that I'm still finding half dollars. Wait, rewind. This is an 1889 silver dollar. The only silver dollar I've ever found. This thing is absolutely amazing. Before I take you out in the stream, I'll give you a glimpse of some of my other cool finds from this place. Here is a large cent, some cool tokens, a thimble and a crotobell, and some of the gold and silver jewelry I found. And we can't forget the World War II silver bracelet featured in my last video. Here I am in the stream. One of my first hits on the day turns out to be a sinker. You can see there in the center of the screen. And shortly after getting there, I was on a solid quarter hit. And here you can see the quarter after I had washed away some of the dirt. I was in about waist deep water here, so I wasn't able to capture the retrieval on video, but there you can see the quarter. No date came off that, which is very typical for those standing Liberty quarters. I spent quite a while in the stream that day, probably upwards of 5 hours or so. Here you'll see a bunch of little fish. They always follow me around in the streams, probably because I'm kicking up dirt. Here is what I believe to be a weight used for a trap. I see a lot of trap remnants in the stream. I think this token was being used as a trap tag. I find a lot of trap tags. That was the first time I've seen one that was from an arcade token. Here you can see me pulling out a penny. This was a memorial penny, not a wheat penny, which actually was kind of rare. And here was number 70. You can see there in the center, after I've just cleared some of the debris, that a mercury dime had popped out there. This one was rather tricky. It sounded actually more like a split shot sinker than it did a dime, but I went for it anyway. There have been several times that I thought there couldn't possibly be any more coins, but somehow I keep finding them. There have been fewer hits recently. My luck, I'm sure, is running out. You know what? I think I will head back.